Rar.
Rar.
That was the sound of the dinosaur book that I just read. I must say, I wanted her to fuck a dinosaur.
Oh my good lord.
It was called Dinosaur Erotica, okay? And it was actually pretty banal. It wasn't that crazy. I'm kind of upset about it.
Okay.
Never, like, I don't know. I kind of wanted, like, a shifter situation. This is relevant to nothing.
Yeah, but like normally in shifter romances, they aren't fucking them in their animal form.
No. No. But this wasn't even erotica. I don't know why the author decided to have it in an erotica series. It's just definitely not. It had, like, one sex scene.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like 100 some pages with, like, one sex scene at the end, and it was like the author just loves dinosaurs. She was, like, an ex-paleontologist, like, student, so, like, she knows her shit, but I don't know the branding. I mean, the cover is great. Cover is beautiful.
There's
Um,
another romance series that's like dinosaur erotica though.
well, there was, like, Triceratops. Someone told me to read that one. It's still in NetGalley. It was, like,
Oh.
Triceratop
No, I
something,
was
like, the
thinking of something else.
pun. Triceratops and bottoms. That's funny. Um, I mean, sometimes, like, the shifter, like, or, like, not even, like, a shifter, but, like, the Katie Robert, like, the dragon's bride, like, I mean, that man was, like, a full dragon. And, like,
Yeah, but that's
I
monster
wasn't even a
romance.
huge fan of that book.
Oh, I think I was thinking of Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer.
Yeah, that's the author.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the same author. So, like, I feel like her TikTok said that this was a semi more normal one, and I'm like, I I respect, kind of, but also I mean, he was kind of a dinosaur, but, like, it just would have been great.
If you look
Even if,
up
like, he wasn't a dinosaur when they were, like, having like, if he just turned into a dinosaur at, like, some point, or, like, did something dinosaurish. Um,
if you look up dinosaur romance and then hit images, I'm
uh-oh.
just going to tell you right now, there is a fascinating, wow. I mean, books that Longbone, Bad Boy Billionaire Dino Exotic Romance. Not
Ooh.
erotic, exotic. Taken by the T-Rex. There's a whole Guardian article called Rex Appeal, the literary attraction of dinosaur erotica. I'm not joking, be going back to read that article.
We'll link it.
Under the Dunes, a dinosaur love story. This is a badly photoshopped cover with a topless woman wearing a cowboy hat.
She looks there against her will.
A billionaire dinosaur forced me gay.
I don't know how to banter on top of that one.
A billionaire a billionaire dinosaur, okay?
Yeah.
A billionaire dinosaur
He's doing well for himself.
forced me gay. Sweet baby Jesus and the grown one too, to quote Barbara Howard, because
From Abbott Elementary.
my ex is a T-Rex, Triceratops and bottoms, as you said, subdued by the Spinosaurus.
Dinos are a girl's best friend.
Sure.
Mating with the raptor.
Having the dinosaur's baby, of course, of course.
Taken at the Dinosaur Museum.
To soar with love.
Ravaged by the raptors.
Oh.
Oh my god. This dinosaur has boobs.
I'm a big fan of Jurassic Jane Eyre.
Oh my god.
The dinosaur, it's Jurassic Jane Eyre there's a very bizarre cover image. And underneath the title it says in quotes, "The dinosaur turned me lesbian." Why do dinosaurs keep changing people's sexualities?
I don't know.
What's this trend?
Oh my, there are so many photoshops of Victorian dinosaurs.
His last hope baby, the last T-Rex shifter, has chosen his mate.
Hope it's me.
Oh my god, from the same author of the other getting turned gay by a dinosaur book is Gay Billionaire Dinosaurs in My Butt.
I was just looking at that one. It sure does say dinosaurs in my butt.
Friends, this episode isn't about dinosaur erotica.
No. But we're bringing back the unhinged, the bonkers, go forth and rar.
For the record,
Okay.
I've never read any dinosaur erotica.
No.
I can't say that I never will.
I was taken by the cover and
Taken
the
by the
dinosaur.
T-Rex, if you will.
And the T-Rex, yes. Naturally.
The pterodactyl.
Okay.
The triceratops. There's a lot of T's. Anyway.
Going to Tonsil Town with the pterodactyl. Plays
Tonsil
tonsil
tennis.
hockey. The what, huh?
Tonsil tennis.
Tonsil tennis? It's tonsil hockey.
Okay, Miss Minnesota.
It's tonsil hockey.
It's tennis.
Tennis? Were you fucking like batting it around? Tonsil hockey. What?
Even the way that you say it. Tonsil hockey.
Yeah, I'm fucking Minnesota in there.
Pull your ass out of the Midwest. It's tonsil tennis.
Tonsil tennis?
It's not.
What is I've never heard of tonsil tennis.
That's the word.
But it's tonsil
Tonsil
hockey.
tennis has an entry in Cambridge Dictionary.
I'm just saying it's tonsil hockey. I cannot believe
it's tonsil tennis. You have the alliteration.
But I've never heard tonsil tennis.
Well, I've literally never heard of
bad.
tonsil hockey. No, tonsil hockey doesn't roll off the tongue the way that tonsil tennis does.
I can't. This is Bacon Gate 2.0. I can't.
I was joking on Tuesday's episode about this being our final episode, but this might be our final episode. Tonsilgate.
We haven't even gotten to the episode.
I'm heated.
What?
Tonsil tennis has the alliterative factor that I need. You only call it tonsil hockey because you live in a state where hockey is the only thing you have going on. I don't know why. I'm so heated that I'm attacking.
Texas? No. Is this do Texans love tennis?
No. We're just like the rest of the world and we respect an alliterative phrase.
Okay, watch. Everyone's gonna agree with you, and I'm gonna be personally victimized, and it's gonna make me angry, okay? But I just gotta say, if we have tonsil hockey people, please, for the love of God, email. You'll make my world. And if you're tonsil tennis...
And you'll embarrass yourselves in the process by outing yourself as someone who says tonsil hockey.
I mean, I did not know, who doesn't say tonsil hockey?
I am praying for you. We need to get to the point of this episode because we've already spent too much time on dinosaur eroticas and tonsil tennis.
It's tonsil hockey.
Yeah, it's not though, is the thing. And this is a hill that, believe it or not, I'm willing to die on.
Me too. And mine's a snow hill, apparently. It's icy.
Yeah, it has to be to say tonsil hockey. The point of the phrase is that you're going back and forth.
But in hockey, when you face off in hockey, it's like that. But tennis is there's a lot of space. Hockey, the sticks are crossing, which sounds like another thing.
So that sounds a lot closer to sword crossing than it does to kissing.
It's fine. Okay. Oh, that's Pornhub getting off of that. Pornhub recognizes tonsil hockey.
I'm sure they recognize tonsil tennis too. I'm sure they recognize a lot of other phrases that we have never heard of.
Okay.
We need to get to the point of the episode. Yeah. Welcome to Romance Your TBR. We have a lot of opinions about phrases, euphemistic phrases for kissing.
Yeah.
And other things. And also a lot of dinosaur erotica.
Okay. Hopefully we found a fun and quirky name for this episode that also tells you that we're reading the Halifax Sisters series by Alexandra Vasti, Margo and Matilda Halifax, 2 novellas, free with the author's newsletter. We will link the author's website, and then you can figure out how to get onto the newsletter. It's easy and free.
You can do it. We believe in you.
We so do. We really do. The first one came out sometime in 2022, and then the second one, Matilda's book, just came out in January. You've probably maybe seen them if you're in the romance sphere. They're pretty big. Yeah, I first found a post, I believe by Lydia Lloyd Romance. Shout out again the best account out there. She had said that it was like free. It was like a Virgin Hero, like free in the novella, and I was like, oh my god, I need to read it. So immediately got it, and that one is my favorite of the series. I reread it and I was like, oh my god, okay, yeah, this is perfect. And then Caroline's is the second one, so it's
I think
fun.
I actually found the first one through that same Lydia
Post.
Lloyd romance post.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the same thing.
Yeah.
But I gave both of them 5 stars. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed them. I love Alexandra's writing style. I'm
It's
very
very
excited
fun.
to see like full books from
I
her.
know
'Cause
she's.
I'm picky about novellas, but she nails the like giving me a full satisfying arc with
Mm-hmm.
the limited amount of time. But I mean 5 stars, but I knew reading Margo from the mentions of Matilda, I was like, that's my
Yeah, and see, like, so I think at first I gave the first one 4 stars because I think I like read it and then I was probably like in the midst of reading like a bunch of other things, and so I kind of like read it and it was super, like, it was good, it was cute, I was like, that's great. And then like I reread it because I was reading that before I read Matilda's, and I was like, okay, wait, no, that's 5 stars, this is exactly what I need, it's what I want. So like the mood just hit different. The outdoor scene at the picnic, that one,
Oh, yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
it was so good, it was so good.
I
And that
reread
really,
that.
yeah. It was so good. And so it was honestly there that I was like, yeah, that's a 5 star. That's a 5 star read for that scene alone.
That scene
Um,
especially is fun with
knowing,
having read both of
yeah,
them,
yeah.
and so you get both perspectives on that scene.
And I will say it really made it interesting to read Matilda's book because you think you know what happens. You think you know what's going on from reading the first one, and
You
then it, like,
don't.
throws you a curveball because they're actually like, they've like faked an elopement because she's going to
Yeah.
go be his sister's art teacher, right?
Mhm.
Because she was like drawing scandalous etchings of him, just
God, I
dick
respect
out,
that.
and like,
She's like,
and
"What?
she
It wasn't you?"
well, because like she didn't, so she was like fantasizing about him, but she didn't
As
like
you do.
draw like everything. But then someone who was like printing it realized that like it kind of looked like this. Was he a duke?
No. I
Whatever
don't
he was,
I don't think,
he was
well, maybe he is.
scandalous. Who, I don't know.
He was just
Um,
scandalous because everybody thinks he killed his wife. I don't remember what his
yeah,
title
and
is.
the person who was like printing, she like sold it to like a magazine or like a newspaper, and they like drew on his like his beard, and they like drew on, I think, like his
He's a
tattoo or
Marquis.
something. He's a mark.
Yeah, the
Okay,
tattoo
so
on his ass.
and then he was, so another tattoo on another ass. We've got 2 nickels. This one, a less nefarious purpose than the porpoise.
And also a far less embarrassing tattoo.
Yes. What was his? I
I
forget.
think it's Ursa Major.
Oh
The
yes,
Big
that was
Dipper.
hot. That was hot. Rar. um, so he like comes up to her. He's like, "Why did you put me dick out on this?" Like double dicked out on a Tuesday afternoon. Like,
I did
why?
in fact lose my mind when she was like, "You're not. I wasn't drawing you. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Number 1, who are you? Number 2, how do you know about the tattoo on my ass?"
Hi, I'd
I
like to talk to
lost
you
my
about the
mind.
tattoo on my ass.
I said, "How did you know?"
So then he approaches her at this ball, and she's like, "Oh shit!" But she's like, "No one can prove this. Like, I didn't. Like, no one should be able to tell." And then she didn't know that they like edited her drawings. And then he was like, "Oh my god!" So then it caused his sister's art teacher to flee because he's now doubly scandalous. And so they didn't want to be in proximity with him. And so then she's like a painter, or like an artist, and she's like, okay, wait, I can help fix this, because whenever a heroine in historical romance fixes something and wants to fix something, it always works out, of course. So she's like, I will find you a replacement. She has one. He's super old, he can't make the trip. So then she's like, I'll do it. I will go with you and not think about the tattoo on your ass. And
Queen.
and how do we think that went?
It went great
It's so good.
for her, for him,
So,
for me, most importantly.
so good. When I was reading this, I was like, wow. I think Alexandra Vasti like got into Caroline's brain And I was like, I'm gonna
So I'm
write
gonna write this
something
for Caroline.
so Caroline coded. Because like, and it's actually quite funny because like the first one is so me coded,
It
and this
is.
one is so you. Like, if like it's perfect. It worked out so well.
It checked all our boxes,
It
each
did.
of them. I mean,
It did.
again, I love the first one
Yes. Yes.
also, but
And I really liked the second book, but like
there's something so
I have imprinted on a Jacob Black level
I
on
just like I
Margo.
remember reading which I loved Margo.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I love a virgin hero. I know you are
Mm,
like the
mm.
champion of virgin
I
heroes
love it.
everywhere. Um but there's the scene which we get from the other perspective in this one where Margo pretends to be Matilda and goes to confront
Yes.
him. And she's like, "Oh, he said these horrible things to me. He threatened to like tie me up on my corset
Oh my
strings and use
god.
a riding crop on me." And I was like,
Which mm,
"Hit me up, literally."
hit me
Christian,
daddy one
like
more time.
no, exactly. I was like, "Hang on. Hang on a second." He said, "What now?" And you were horrified because that
She
would
would have
not
sat
be
in
my
that man's lap.
response. No, but like I would have been like, call us a carriage. We are getting out of here. And I did think it was funny that because doesn't is his name Henry? I'm blanking.
I believe it's Henry or Harry. I think it's Henry.
I think it's
Henry is
Henry.
hotter than Harry.
Because isn't he like he has to be like, well, you know,
Henry.
Margo, some people have different sexual
Proclivities.
preferences. And then
And
also
she
she
was
like
so
briefly
scared.
fantasizes about him spanking her. Because she's like, wait,
Mhm.
hang on, if
He
Henry's doing it, maybe it's kind of hot. Queen.
and I mean, frankly, that picnic scene was a feast and a half.
It was.
I It
It
was
really
so
was.
like the two sisters are like scandalous. They've kind of like half earned, half just kind of like fallen into these reputations. And so you've got Margo, who the hero was first enamored when she was like tying a cherry stem with her tongue into a knot, and then he's always like smelling cherries, and he's like, whoa. He always wants cherries. It's a whole thing. And then Matilda kind of like you get the whole kind of backstory about it in her book, which was fascinating. Um, we don't need to, I suppose, go into that because it's a little bit of a spoiler, and like we can let you figure that out. But it was interesting to see how they both kind of approach the different scandalous pasts, and then how Margo had a little bit harder of a time wanting to let go of that than Matilda did. And they were twins, so like the whole, they look alike, but they're completely different people. And I thought the books conveyed that very well. They felt very different.
Yeah.
Margot's book
Two
was a
different
lot
vibes.
shorter. And the Matilda's was longer. It had more of a plot, and it was I feel like it was a little more slow burn than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was. Well, because I think it was more than I expected just because when you're reading Margot's book, you think they're
Yeah.
already eloping.
Yes. Yeah, so
And so when you actually read it, you're like, oh, they're not
mhm.
eloping. This is slow burn.
So I was like, what? Because like Matilda gives a whole speech in Margot's book about how she loves him and that she needs to like be free, and like she loves him. They're gonna go continue to Scotland, and then this means she's just lying out her ass, her untattooed ass,
I
and
respect that.
yeah, and so it's kind of like bittersweet when you read Margot's now because you're like, oh, she was like hoping, but it wasn't happening yet. So then like she gets to the house, and then she's kind of just like befriending, is it his sister? Is it his daughter or his sister?
I think it's his sister.
His sister. So it took a
God,
little
our
bit.
memories.
I
It's
I
been a
read
hot
this.
second since I read this.
It was a long. We were supposed to record, and then we were like, wait, that's 3 episodes in a day, and we stopped
Everything's
that.
fine. It's his sister. She's a hella good painter, which means she doesn't
Yes,
even
and she's
really
a very
need.
dark painter.
Yeah, which
like,
I liked.
like angsty.
Yeah.
And Matilda was like, I can't teach you anything. Can you teach me, Queen? So she just basically got lessons from the sister.
She was just vibing in that house, rearranging things
Yeah.
and having sex in the library as
Mhm.
she should. Also, there's a cat. You know I love a cat.
Yes.
I love a quirky animal. Also, it's named Angelica Kaufman, which made me
That was
laugh.
funny. It could have been Angelica Poffman.
That wouldn't really
I know,
work.
but Paw.
Yeah, but you're really stretching for the
I
wordplay
mean,
here that wasn't. It's okay. It's
you
Angelica
like
Kaufman.
tonsil tennis, so
And you like tonsil hockey. We're not
Hi.
getting back into this right now. It'll be another 10-minute tangent.
Cat.
The cat that gives
Meow.
birth on. I respect so much that this cat was dedicated to the cause. And by that I mean she ensured with all of her power that there was only ever one bed available.
Mhm.
She said,
Mhm.
"Oh, you have a bed to yourself? Not if I have anything to say
I'm gonna
about
go
it."
give birth
And
on
for
it.
that, I salute Angelica Kaufman. She was taking care of excess beds right and left.
She'll do it for her
She
country.
I mean, someone take her to the chiropractor, right? Because she was carrying that on her back.
Oh god. She was an
And
MVP.
pregnant all the while.
She was so pregnant. She had many
She
fluffy
was
babies.
so pregnant.
Many fluffy babies.
I also just actually maybe the most relatable part of this entire book was the sister whose name I'm forgetting being upset and disappearing. Um
Yes.
and they search and search for her for like an entire day. They cannot find her. When they finally find her, she is in the library, which is all like a maze of chaos right now because all this furniture that Matilda wants to get rid of is in there, whatever. And she's sitting there with the kittens on her, like hanging out with the cat and the kittens. And she's like, Matilda's, but like, we've been looking for you. Like, we've been calling your name. We've been searching for you. And she's like, yeah, I just
I
came in here to
heard.
like calm down. And I heard you guys, but the the kittens were on me. Like Angelica put the I think the cat like put the kittens on her.
Yeah. And the
And
cat
she's
like
like,
went to sleep and then
yeah. And I have never related to anything more in my life than somebody being like, "I'm so sorry. I know, but there were kittens sleeping on me, so I wasn't going to move."
well, because she had walked in. So I can't remember if it was like the housekeeper or someone, and the sister had like knocked on the door, and they were like obviously sharing a room because one bed, and they had just gotten into it in the sexual manner the night before, and she slept in, so she wasn't able to go back to her room, and then he was just like, "Come in," and she was like, "Excuse me." And then immediately, like the sister and whoever was with her came in, and then the sister was not prepared for him to have romantic relations with anyone because there was like a backstory that I, of course, don't remember.
I think it was
But
more about that like he brought her there to like be
yes,
a
for him.
painting
So
instructor. So she thought that
yeah,
she
she
was
thought
there
it was
for
her friend.
her
Yeah, she thought that she was
and then
becoming
was
her
like,
friend. Yeah, you're right.
"Oh, you were only ever here for," or like she was only here for
Yep,
him, not
you were
for
using me for
me.
just which was
Which
sad, but
she
also
came back from that pretty
yeah.
quickly and
Well,
was
because
like,
she was just with cats. Because you think she
"Well,
was being
yeah.
super dramatic, and then she's just sitting with cats.
Yeah, she was just hanging out with kittens," which me too, queen.
Yeah.
So it
Um.
doesn't take up too much of the story, but
Mm-mm. But I did love
meanwhile,
how he was just like, "Come in."
we're
I
stuck
was like,
on where are they? They're in the very dramatic water, I don't know where that is. It's like a
I
beach or a river or something, and he's stuck in the marshy tides. I don't
huh.
really know. I just know he gets stuck or the horse is stuck and the horse can't
Oh.
get out and he doesn't want to leave the horse.
Yeah, isn't
And there's
and
a
well,
very
there's the
dramatic moment.
cliff. Did his first wife was there a
Did she
cliff?
fall off a cliff? I don't know.
50-50 on the
Memory
cliff.
gone. See, and this is another if you listen to the Valentine's Day episode, we don't remember external plot. There's a
No,
mystery, no idea.
no.
There's
The
there's a spy mission, not a clue what
because
that was.
but
But boy, can
I
I
think
tell you about the sex scenes.
one of them well, yeah, I make note. Face sitting, you got it. I will tell you. I will always tell you. Mysterious deaths, like
I think she fell
one
off the
time on it. I think it was
cliff.
the cliff because then one of them almost fell off the cliff, and then he like pull her back. This could be a
I don't
totally different
remember
book.
that. I don't
I
think that's
have
the case.
there have
I
been
remember
many.
him going to check at the cliff to see if
Yeah.
his sister had fallen and being really worried that he would see her.
I thought he almost fell off because the horse. I don't know.
I don't think so,
Truly, I've read a lot of
but
books with
maybe.
cliffs.
Yeah, it's a
Cliffs are a
standard.
great. They're a setting in historical kind of
Even Jane
gothic.
Austen appreciated a good
Mm-hmm.
cliff.
The moors, the cliffs.
Um,
Something with cliffs.
I don't
Cliffhanger,
know.
cliff notes. So then, yeah, I
Pony
forgot.
Bob, Cliff.
I can't. What?
No?
Fuck.
Okay, Home Alone
No,
2.
it's Home Alone. But like, I was trying to remember the rest of the quote, but it's just like, oh, I love you.
Little Mo with the gimpy leg. You've
I
been
swear.
smooching with everybody. It's a lie. Okay. For
But
you
no,
Home Alone 2 fans out
I
there.
instantly knew the movie. I was trying to
Thank
get the
you.
rest of the
That's
quote. It
good.
did
That's
not.
good. I
Did
don't
not get.
remember the ordering of the
I
quotes
always
still.
quote. It's fish. Do you smell that, Mav?
It's freedom.
No, it's fish.
It's
And then
fish.
he's like, and he's like, no, it's fish.
Yeah.
So that's my Home
Anyway.
Alone quote of choice. Because you asked, obviously, listener.
Yes.
You. Yeah.
We didn't talk about Margo much. We got stuck
No.
on Matilda because I love
Yeah.
Matilda.
Oh,
I did want to say read the how many times am I gonna say the while I'm buffering?
Ooh, she's currently buffering.
The
order?
outdoor scene, the
Oh.
scene that we get from both their perspective, the outdoor
Yes.
scene. We were talking about how like the twins are very different. Their books feel very different. They each had a different approach to the like scandalous reputation thing. I also really respect that we were able to get a conflict from each perspective where neither of them was like in the wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't like somebody did. I mean, each of them had like done smaller things, but like I understood where each of them was coming from.
Yeah.
In that like Margo didn't really want this reputation that they had earned versus, I mean, Matilda didn't.
Matilda,
Versus
yeah.
Margo was like really leaning into it.
Well, and I like the depth that was able to be like conveyed in that, like that you're getting at, and just like the reason for it, like we hadn't known in Margot's book, because Margo didn't know, so Margo doesn't know how that all began, or she doesn't really have a clue, and then Matilda knows, and it's funny because then Margo is the one who leans heavily into it, and then Matilda was kind of like there. I mean, they were both scandalous in their own right. Was Matilda a virgin?
No.
We
don't really get in. I don't remember getting into like the backstory of like how, but I think it's mentioned she's had like a couple of lovers.
A couple. It's the same thing with Margo, which was also nice. I
think heavy asterisk on that because I could be dead wrong.
Yeah. In Margo's books, we mentioned it's a virgin hero, which I always prefer virgin hero and experienced woman rather than virgin. It's worked. Obviously, like the Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan, they're both virgins. There's like a few Eloisa James, they're both virgins. Like it works sometimes, but normally like that it's not the sex lessons really that like you want when you get the one virgin, and normally like the virgin hero really like leans into like wanting to know, and like there's like one where he like reads erotic books because he's trying to practice. I think it's like a Megan Frampton book.
Okay. They're always so eager to please.
He was so eager. And that's just what I love. Like I love like the just no pretenses. Like they're a little nervous. They're a little like shy about it.
See, I like a virgin hero because like 9 times out of 10, at least in a historical, but also probably in contemporary, they're still a virgin only because they've been pining for the heroine for however many years. And they just never wanted to do it with anyone else.
Her
cough,
lessons
cough, Grantham.
Oh my god, I love by design.
And then you have sex on an architectural whatchamacallit desk.
Like
a drafting desk.
To opine on virgin heroes, that one specifically, just for a sec, he didn't know how to use birth control, and she got so angry because she thought he wasn't prepared, and she was like, how could you not like think about me, like you don't know? And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know. And then she left and he was sad, and then they figured it out, and it was so good. Because they were
and then he pulled up with all the birth controls,
all of it. And let me tell you, there was another book, but Inserting of the Sponge, shit's hot. It is. There was another one where they did it.
I find historical birth control fascinating. I think it's so fun every time the author's like, let's get into the weeds of this. And I'm like, yes, tell me all about it.
Let's tie some ribbons because that's sexy. A nice little one book was like talking about like the different color ribbons. They're like, let's do a pink one this time.
I like that.
I was like, yeah.
That would be me.
I would do a pink one. I like the dentist. I will always ask for a pink toothbrush, no matter how old I get. I would also ask for pink condom ribbons. Like, leopards don't change their spots. Mine are hot pink.
Speaking of historical birth control and the outdoor scene in Margo,
mm, mm.
Halifax, not only is it pull out, which, like, of course it is, because, it's a historical, of
Mm.
course they're pulling out. It's a thigh fucking situation at the end.
He just pushes them together.
And I was like, oh! And my voice went that high.
I'm a falsetto child. Like,
It sounded
it
like
was just
Pinocchio. Like a little Victorian boy. Oh!
I don't wear ladies' underwear.
It's a thong!
I just love that
Put
movie.
$1 in the Shrek jar.
I want to do a whole episode on Shrek too, because that movie is
not relevant to
fantastic.
this podcast.
It's historical. It's medieval. It's fantastic. Okay, I would write an essay so fast.
I
on
want
just
you to
how
write a dissertation on Shrek 2 being a historical romance.
I will. I wasn't under the influence of any drugs or anything. I was just like sitting in my bed thinking about how fascinating and smart the Shrek franchise was. I was just thinking how they went from Shrek 1, which was like vague fairy tale things, and then just like really went into it. I love it. And Smash Mouth, that song. I mean the Shrek soundtracks,
Yeah.
bangers. So yeah, the outdoor scene. So like what was lovely was that they stumbled upon this picnic because they heard that a woman who looked like Margo was in this town at this inn. They had just went out with these special buns that she liked or whatever, and they're like, it's her. So they walked out and they found this like empty picnic site, and they were like, this isn't sketchy. Let's just sit down here and have a quick bang. So they just start fucking on this like picnic blanket, and then little
No.
do they don't
No.
they?
It's not on their picnic blanket. They wander
Well,
off in
okay.
different directions looking for them, and then they converge in the woods.
Do they?
And then
I
they are
guess
so horny.
do they like eat their picnic?
No, they just find it and are like, aha, they've been here. They must be in the area.
I felt like I don't know. You remember better than I do. I'm different to you.
I'm pretty sure.
Sure. I agree.
I'm so sorry to Alexandra Vasti if you're listening to this and you're like, why are you guys butchering my novellas?
Well, you're also
doing
in
our
the midst
best.
of sadly in the midst of tonsil stuff, and
You're sadly in the midst of tonsil phrases that shouldn't be uttered.
Yeah,
however, I will
tonsilness.
say, can we remember what happened with the picnic blanket? Except that I'm pretty sure they just found it and then wandered off into the woods. No, but can I remember that he pulls out and immediately starts fucking her thighs? Yes, I can. So
what
the
I
details
remember is
that I
like,
remember are
her
specific.
head is like smashed in
Smashed
the
into the ground.
dirt,
There's twigs in her hair, and
which
hair
for
in her mouth.
me, that's a little scary. Like I don't like dirt. I don't like being dirty.
Yeah, but it's
so that
like
was
so in the moment.
it was that. Well, that's also why I love the bear. Next to the bear hole, bear in the hole.
Sure,
And
the bear pit,
bear in the hole is worth 2 in the butt.
I mean, yeah, I'll take it. Bear in a hole, by the way, sounds like either a delicious breakfast treat or a really filthy fucking euphemism.
It's both. It's both. I'm gonna become a baker, and I'm gonna make bear holes. Bear in the holes.
And it's
like
gonna
a donut
be
hole.
like really horrific. Those like erotic pastries that Lizzie Blake makes, and Lizzie Blake's best mistake. It's gonna be that, and you're gonna call it bear in a hole.
It's gonna be a mix of bear claws and donut holes,
And
egg in the hole.
So you know how there's like a certain type of gay man that are called bears?
No.
Like there's twinks.
And I do know that. I did not know there was
the big burly ones, to my knowledge. Not that I'm an expert on queer culture, but they're bears. I had an instructor, like grad students teach classes in college. I had an instructor who I adored. He was what a guy. He brought up
shout out
to Christian, because he brought up
cool name.
What is the show that Grey's Anatomy? I swear to God, every single class. I remember walking in one day and we were just blasting Total Eclipse of the Heart on the projector, and I was like, sure. But we came back from spring break, and he was like, I had a really great spring break. Went to Big Bend National Park, saw a lot of bears. the gay kind and the animal kind. And I was like, okay. Anyway, bear in a hole. A bear is a gay man. Do you see where I'm going with this as being a euphemism?
Yes.
I feel like it could
anything
be
with
one.
a hole. Anything with a hole, I
Sure,
do.
but like specifically with a bear.
A bear. That is quite funny.
I feel like this euphemism should already exist if it doesn't.
We've stumbled upon something.
We have.
The world perhaps isn't ready.
Anal. It's just anal.
It's just anal. She says forlornly.
Once again, this is not relevant to the topic of the episode. How do we go from dinosaur
because we are unhinged, but we have a purpose. And we can always find 6 degrees. Not always as it's Nicolas Cage, but we've gotten there just now for other 6 degrees. So 6 degrees of like mud, dirt pushing down and the elements.
It's
fucking.
Just outdoor sex.
Outdoor sex. And I immediately equate that with A Daring Pursuit by Kate Bateman, where they're caught up in the moment and there's a gigantic bear in a gigantic hole and they succeed in putting the bear in the hole.
It sounds so dirty every time we say it.
I know. And then they just go for it on hands and knees right next to this bear. And the bear's probably
they're
like
not
growling.
In the hole. The bear is
No, they're outside the hole. They're above. And then it just gets to where they're like, we almost died. We gotta make love and make life. Because
versus Margo Halifax, which is not a danger bang, but it is a frantic outdoor bang.
And then
like, you drive me insane. And then she's like, that's hot.
It was. Margo, it was. And then the Matilda and whatever his name was, Christian, they stumble upon those two going at it like bears. And then Matilda's like, Christian, just go. We're gonna wait for them to do what they're doing, and then I'm gonna go give her a talking to. I mean, can you imagine stumbling upon your twin with a family friend? And you're like, what?
I like that even she's like, she like makes a comment about how like buttoned up Henry is and how starchy he is, and she's like, wow, didn't see that one coming.
I loved it.
But I did see him coming. Dang it, where's my remote?
I don't know where your effects remote is, but
put in a little bit for me.
I sure will. I have it saved.
Add it in post.
It sounds so professional. Add it in post.
What was that? Yes, Unhinged. I would rather die than see my siblings in coitus.
In reality, horrible situation. For the drama of it, it was hilarious. Quite fun. Because then you've got the whole, she gives her whole love speech, Matilda, about how she loves Christian. And then in their book, she's like, oh, this hurts because it's not true. I'm just going to be his painter. And then
they collect a cat, as you do.
They collect a cat. And then along the way. And she's like a vicious, like she's a miscreant.
Yeah. She fucks up their lives, but for good. Because she really is out here to get them to just make the beast with two backs already. She's like, get on this. She said, oh, you want to bathe me? That's a funny joke. How about you go get dick down instead?
As you do.
As you do when you're a cat. She's pregnant.
The cat bathing to getting dick down pipeline. I mean, happens to the best of us.
Well, because I was like, surely we're not going to make this entire journey with no one bed situation, right?
Yeah.
Surely not. I've read enough romance to know. This cannot possibly be what we're doing. So she was like, hang on, I'm going to bathe this cat. And I was like, oh, this is going to go so horribly wrong. And then it did.
Do they don't have sex on the way there, do they? They just,
no.
There's some
They have been so
cuddling.
horny this whole time.
Yeah.
Fantasizing about each other. And then they get there, and then she tries to bathe the cat, and the cat scratches her and knocks her backwards. And Christian has to pry the cat off her face. Not a euphemism.
Hot.
And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Was there face sitting in this? There should have been. And then our new euphemism, prying the cat off his face. That's our new.
I don't think
I don't think there was. I would have.
I feel
knowing
like
me
you would
that
have
I would
noted
remember
it.
that. Yeah, I can go look at my notes.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just because we get a little labby. Anyway, he's like, go put on some clothes that aren't completely see-through because of water.
Again, that's
And
also a
I
hot
will,
situation.
yeah, it is. And I will treat the scratches on your like neck or whatever. And he does. Also hot. Love a caring for an injury scene. And then they're like just groping each other as you do, and she's naked under the robe, and she's like doing a little shoulder tease, and he's like, I'm gonna lose my mind, and then he does. Oh, but then he does that classic historical romance hero thing that I love, where he's like, I can't like have sex, like I can't ruin her, or I can't like fully take her, whatever it is, but I can get her off.
Yeah.
God, I love that trope. So he does. Also, he spank her at this point. He like grabs her by the back of the neck, spanks her for a while, and then eats her out from behind. King. And
Again,
then that's it.
The pipeline.
I'm like, sorry, you dropped this, your crown.
And there was a
and
good
then
girl.
they have sex for the first time in the. Well, it's a good girl, but it's a do you want to be a good girl?
Oh, yeah,
and she said no.
Because in Margo's, it was all about her not wanting to be a good girl, and at some point she was just like, yeah, I'm not, and then they were fucking in the woods. So
yeah, big fan of. By the way, I want to be wicked, but I want you to make me be good. Queen.
Yes,
absolute banger.
Yeah, that one really
worked.
Emojis. It had like both going on for it.
Also, I respect that the first time they like had penetrative sex, it was just against the library shelves. They were just so horny. And then we got bonded later with the ribbon.
I think I wanted a little bit more. There was the writing again. Chekhov's saddle strap strikes again. Whatever that writing crop.
I was good with it. I mean, I would read it. If she was like, here's a bonus novella of him tying her up
I wonder if there's going to be
strings and using a writing crop. I'll take it.
Like a newsletter, like extended scene or something.
Yes. I'll read it. Every time.
She will read
I'll eat it up.
From behind.
Nice.
Thank you.
Dang it, I need my remote. Add it in post.
It's a real
you have to say it in that specific voice for it to work.
In post.
Thank you. Like a real professional.
That's us. Real professionals. This is our
I would have loved some face. Was there face sitting in Margo?
No. I only have I have Virgin Hero marked off for that, and then I have face,
and there's that classic we're stuck in a cottage in the rain. We have
the work that cottages do. The work that cottages do for us.
They do. The cottage in that one in historical romance generally, and Angelica Kaufman in Matilda.
I just because they always, or like maybe I can't remember if the cottage was like in this situation, but in one of like the novellas in the Duke in a Box anthology, and like a lot of times they like wander off, and someone makes reference in the morning that it's going to storm, and neither of them like heed it. So then one's just like wandering off. And
was
then
it Darcy Burke? Was it that one?
It's probably that one. There are like a few different books that have this, but it was probably I think it was the Darcy Burke one, because then that was the two younger ones, who were like enemies.
Yeah.
And then they end up. She like storms off. She's trying to lead him astray. She's like, I'm just gonna leave you for dead.
Lost. She's like, I'm gonna leave him lost in the woods. LOL.
But then like her trail didn't work. I mean, me, like, you could lead me astray and I would die. I mean, that would be a death sentence for me. I wouldn't find a cottage. I wouldn't find anything. I would die right there. I mean, so honestly, she didn't, and he's terrible at directions. So she didn't realize that. So he could have legit perished. And so she's like trying to lead him astray, and then it's like getting snowy and dangerous levels. Sure. And so then she like catches up, they like find each other, and they find this cottage, and then they have sex, and I really loved that one. But I just love how there's always like the talk of like the impending storm, and then it always comes to pass.
once again, really carrying historical romance on
Yeah.
its back. Speaking of characters that carry things on their back, the housekeeper in Matilda deserves a shout out. She
Shout out to
really does.
housekeeper.
Cause you know what? I should say this. Angelica Kaufman did half the work in giving birth on Matilda's bed. She did her part, and then she passed the baton. She said,
Mm-hmm.
"My part,
It
check
was a
that
relay.
box. Now it's on you." And the housekeeper said, "I got you. Thank you for your service, Angelica. I will take it from here." Oh no, Matilda, you can't sleep in that room anymore. Here's this room directly across the hall from Christian.
I love
Shout
it.
out to her.
You just don't get this vibe in contemporary.
No.
I mean, there's
Contemporary
just
has its own
it does.
things
It
that
does. Its
works.
own genre conventions.
But you gotta,
But
like, it just feels so much better to have something a little kooky in a historical.
ugh, I'm just like remembering all the different like hallway escapade, like walking and oh my god.
Well, also, especially because, like, I feel like in a contemporary, if a cat gives birth on your bed, I mean, you could argue that, like, they don't want to move it because, like, the kittens are there.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, you could just give them a little nest and, like, pop the sheets in the washer,
Mm-hmm.
and you're good.
We also have like a ton of unsexy air mattresses. They would
Yeah.
all like we got so many. And
I
sleeping
would
bags.
love to see, actually, a sex scene that involves an air mattress. I think that would be
They could
hilarious.
pop it. So one of our air mattresses at our cabin, one of the like the you know how it's like kind of quilted, so it has like the ridges, like
Mhm,
ruffles, and then like the seam in the middle. Well, one of them
mhm.
like popped, so it's like a huge hump. That would be fun for a sex scene. It would create some fun acrobatics.
I just think it could make for some hilarity. You get that, you can have
Yeah,
them, like, fully popping it,
it
like,
would be
that
fun.
would be humorous to me.
And then you're just like slowly sinking. It's like deflating.
Slowly deflating while you're having sex would be funny to me. Any of the you know how it's like it's plastic, so it's like super creaky and loud anytime you try to like move on it. So having sex on one of those things must just be like
It'd be horrible. And
like
but
horrendous.
also, it would be perfect for the unintentional cuddling middle of the night because you always move towards the center.
Oh, classic.
Like everyone like rolls because the air is just like depressing that way.
So true.
Um, I don't. I don't think there was an air mattress, but because there was no power. But in "Kiss Her Once for Me" by Alison Cochran, there was a great cottage scene because they were in the middle of a snowstorm that they did not think was gonna
Once
be that
again,
bad.
cottages in storms.
And severe snowstorms. They do it like the best of us. So they got stuck outside of it. They had a break in. It was their neighbors. They had to like steal their clothes because they had no clothes and they were all wet. And then they banged, and it was great. That was a great book. Did you read that one this year?
I started it, but I never finished it.
Next year, it's gonna be great for you. The audiobook was really nice. I loved it.
Um, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say other than just these novellas are really great and I love
Yeah.
them. And I can't wait to see what she writes next. But also, now I kind of want to reread Matilda Halifax.
And I'm feeling Margo. So
I love that for us.
we are who we are.
You know what's funny? I'm not an age gap person. That was
Me
the one
neither.
thing that I was like a little wary about. I was like, age gap, not my vibe. It wasn't like a huge deal in the
Mm-hmm.
book. I think it barely came up, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it worked.
Have you finished Harper St. George's book yet for your book club?
No.
The second one in that series has a pretty substantial age gap. She's like 19 and he's 30,
Ooh,
but that book is so good though.
I
It
respect it.
I didn't think it would hit. It's my favorite of the series and sweet baby Jesus and the grown one too. Like literally Christian. His name is Christian too.
Hmm.
And she's like an undercover like romance writer and she's like writing him into all of her sex
Maybe we're
scenes.
all secretly writing 50 Shades of Grey fan fiction.
Honestly. But yeah. I don't got much else. Her Alexandra Vasti is it with S&P? St.
I
Martin's Press
think
is
so.
her series. I think so. I don't think it's Source Books. She's coming out with like she has like a 3-book deal, and the first one I think is coming out in 2024. I think. Super excited. I was super surprised. I was like, oh my god, that's cool. She almost didn't release. She almost wasn't able to release Matilda because
Why?
of like the because of the no compete or whatever, she couldn't sell it. So that's why it was free. It was supposed to be probably on Kindle Unlimited or at least
And
Kindle. But due to her contract, which must have been signed, which was weird because she was like teasing it. So I think she must have just signed the contract when all this was happening, like her release. Because then she was like pivoting to free again in the newsletter because they wouldn't let me make money from anything else, but I could do it for free. So I was like, whoa. Did not know that, but thank God. That would have really
interesting.
sucked. Mhm.
Because I have no idea how any of that works.
Me neither. It could just be, like, specific to their, like, house or something, because I would think
Well, because there's
that
other like what do you call that? Like joint the authors that do both.
n like, anthologies and stuff, yeah. Yeah, I
Well, but
don't
like Kennedy Ryan does independent publishing
mhm.
and traditional.
It must be something in their contract that's, like, you can't it's so weird.
I don't know.
Oopsies. Not a clue, but we almost didn't get it, but we got it, and, um,
Thank God,
the
because it
devil
spoke
works
to me.
hard, but romance writers work harder.
Well, that is true.
Or
That they do.
the devil works hard and romance heroes get harder. Thank you and good
Oh,
night.
add $1 to the
The horrible jar, the
jar where
pain
you
jar.
hurt me. The pain jar.
Got a lot of jars.
Not even the good kind.
Are there good jars? Oh, not the good. I was like, they're good jars. The good pain. I get it. I got it, guys. Don't worry. We got there. Yeah, we did that.
We did.
So
I'm sleepy.
hopefully this is a great end to your week. It's just Sunday now, so honestly quite sad that we have to
Yeah.
have 5 days of work
Real
to
bummer.
get to Friday. But
Real
it'll
bummer.
be here. We'll have Valentine's Day. And yeah.
If you're listening to this, you'll have already had Valentine's
Yes.
Day.
I
But we
mean,
haven't had it yet as we are
no.
recording it.
It's like The Matrix. I've never seen it. I don't know if it's actually The Matrix, but sure.
I've never seen The Matrix either.
Cool.
We're
Cool.
just throwing out references to things. We have no idea if they're accurate.
But we have seen Home Alone 2.
God have we. We've seen
So,
Shrek 2 and Home Alone 2.
I mean, okay. Well, it's sleepy time, even though I won't go to bed for like many hours.
Relatable.
It's reread hot novella time.
Yeah, that it is.
Yeah,
That
hopefully
it
you're not listening to this at like 9:50 a.m. when this drops. I mean, that would be kind of awkward.
It
If you're
might
like,
still be read Stevie novella time.
yeah,
You
hopefully.
could
I mean,
put on an audiobook. Kennedy
true.
Ryan's Audible original Coming Home just came out
I
pretty
am.
recently. You could slap that one on.
I'm super excited. I read a bunch of Audible originals. And that one just released a day that I was like binging all the other ones, so that one's next on my list.
It was quite lovely.
A Walk in the Park by Rebecca Weatherspoon was super great. They both adopt the same dog on accident. There was a mishap and they have to co-parent, and it was great. It was lovely. It was hot.
Relatable.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Have a day.
Have a day.